Welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over outside zone. The purpose of these videos is to show examples of the most common plays that we saw last year, and we're going to talk about how our front seven is going to defend them this year. Okay, so this is 12 personnel. 12 personnel meaning there's one running back and two tight ends. The number twos are attached, so the Zeke and the Sam are on the line of scrimmage in seven techniques. Um, okay, so we just have our normal alignment rules. Our offensive line keys are going to tell us that it is run. So then our eyes are going to shift to the near back, and we're going to see that the direction is to the right and that the flow is outside. Okay, the flow meaning that the running back's shoulders are going to be, you know, towards the sideline, and that they are trying to get outside. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the nose. Um, the nose is going to be playing through the left half of the center. And if the nose gets a double team here, we expect the nose to use the hip technique to hold this A gap, or alternatively, just cut the center. The end is going to own this B gap. And this tackle is actually most likely going to try and reach this end here, and so we're going to use the steer technique to make sure that we stay in this B gap. This end is probably going to get a double team here. What's most likely going to happen is this tackle is going to try to initially double and then work up to the mic. And so we want the end to use double team technique to occupy this, to hold this B gap and occupy these blockers for as long as possible. The Zeke, uh, he is going to initially set the edge, but as the direction goes away from him, he's going to drop back to linebacker depth, which is 4 yards, and then fall down the line of scrimmage looking for a cutback. Okay. Um, the Sam here is going to initially set the edge against this H and work to keep outside containment and forcing this running back to cut it back inside. Okay, so um, one thing we have to remember here with outside zone is if they're using outside zone or stretch blocking techniques, we want to press for width in our gaps because we expect the entire line to move to the right. Okay, so the line is going to be moving that way. So while initially, the C gap is here, we would expect it to end up somewhere over here because the line is moving horizontally. Okay, so that's just something to remember anytime we see this outside zone footwork. The biggest change is how the mic and the will. Okay, if we get an outside flow, we're gonna stack track. And then you're going to be, depending on which side, A to the ball or C to the ball. Okay, so let's start with the will. Um, the backside linebacker, okay, so the inside linebacker that is away from the flow, okay, so the flow is to the right, and so the will is on the left-hand side, so he's the backside linebacker. He is going to stack the nose, track the back, okay. He's responsible for this A gap, but he is also going to be just to the ball. Okay, so if this running back tries to cut it back into this A gap, that's where the will is gonna be. But if this running back just tries to get to the edge, the will is going to have to pursue down the line and make the tackle. Same thing with the mic. Okay, so the mic is going to get a right direction outside flow. So you're going to stack this end. All right, you're going to be responsible for this C gap if the running back cuts back, but otherwise, if he breaks contain, then you have to go to the ball. Okay, so that's the biggest difference between inside zone and outside zone. It's the mic and the will. We just expect you're not stack track fallback, you're stack track A to ball or stack track C to ball. One thing I'll note here is we gone over this in prior videos, but the Sam is going to set the edge here using the scoot technique, where he's going to get a 2-to-1, and he is going to hold this H full extension with his left hand, and then his right hand or right arm is going to be free, and he's either going to make this tackle or he's going to force the A to cut back into this A or C gap where our Mike and Will are. Okay, so that's outside zone. Now we're going to go to lead stretch. We saw lead stretch against Bingham. We saw it in different variations against other teams too. Lead stretch is effectively it's outside zone, but you have a fullback. Okay, so here we're in 21 personnel. There's two running backs, okay, one tight end, and everything is the same. Um, and it's all going to look the same. The only exception here is we have this fullback now. Okay, so our our offensive line keys are going to tell us that it's run. The nose is going to be in the weak side A gap. Attacking half man of the left half of the center. Okay, this end is going to be attacking this B gap here. This end is very important. He's going to be um holding this B gap, but he's going to be using a double team technique against the guard. And then the Sam here is going to set the edge with that scoot technique. And we'll talk about this in a second. Let's go over here to the Zeke. The Zeke is going to set the edge. He is responsible for the C gap. His key is to the near back, right? So the direction is to the right. It's an outside flow. So then he's going to fall back to linebacker depth and just fold down the line. Okay. So this Sam here, let's talk about this Sam. This Sam is going to get a run key. So he's going to immediately set the edge. Um, and then he's gonna his eyes are gonna move to the near back. Okay, so he's gonna see that the direction is to the right and it's outside. So the question is, what happens when this fullback gets here? And we want the Sam to spill this here. Okay, so we use the wrong arm technique to spill, and then we have the Mike and the Will overlapping to make the tackle. Same thing with the Mike. Okay, so the Will, you're gonna get your offensive line key is gonna be run. Your eyes are gonna flow to the near back. You're gonna get the direction is to the right. It's an outside flow. So you're gonna stack this nose, track the back, and you're the A gap to the ball. Okay. Same thing with the Mike. Okay. You're gonna stack this end, you're gonna track, and you're gonna be C gap to the ball. Okay. So one of two things is gonna happen here. Okay. When this Sam spills this fullback, okay, the running back is just going to continue to come and try and get the edge, and the Mike is going to overlap. Or when the Sam spills this fullback, it's going to cause this A to cut back either into the C gap or the A gap, just like outside zone. Okay. So that's how we're going to handle lead stretch. We're probably going to see more outside zone than lead stretch. The only difference here between outside zone and lead stretch is when this fullback comes towards the Sam just has to remember to spill. Okay. Equally, if the Sam sets the edge here, but the fullback gets around, when the Mike comes up, the Mike is also going to be responsible for spilling this fullback. And then because the Will is stack track A to ball, he will be the overlap player that makes the tackle.